Have you heard of a story called a scarecrow? Huh? To scare off the crows. If somebody is going to rape you, you have to do something. You have to speak something. I don't know what people speak. You have to speak any word to scare your attacker. And the rapist, the man who throw men on a woman at a bus stop, or bash up a woman for 40 years, obscene phone call, using, I wonder who is it. My telephone number was maybe passed on to Cherry Blair, to David Cameron. We were not perhaps born in those days 40 years ago. Huh? So Cherry Blair, I don't know how big she was. Terrorizing phone, on the phone, using different people. The Queen, look at the Queen's a civil servant, mucking about a civil servant. It's a hobby. English people have done it in the past. I read a story. There was an English couple. The criminal gang started writing a letter. We are going to do this. We are going to do that. They killed themselves. They got scared. There was another man. He killed himself. He is the man who hit Stephen Hawking in the car, and then he started getting messages. Stephen might sue him. He might do this. He killed himself. Those who hit Stephen Hawking, Stephen King rather, the writer of the horror book, on the car, payment. I got to tell you, I was walking on the Empire Way. And on the path behind me, I didn't realize Mr. Hooper was driving behind me in the car of a man who was the passenger. So I kept on walking. Mr. Hooper must be showing my total gate to the man there. What a Queen, what a Hooper, what a civil servant. And then I walk, and then I reached the bus stop. So now I stop. I knew nothing coming from my front side, called as the left side, and I have to cross the road to get to the bus stop. So I looked on my right side, and I saw Mr. Hooper. And Mr. Hooper have a trademark. He got a Hitler nose. He quickly take his index finger to hit his nose. Hitler nose. That's his trademark. He quickly hit his face down, but his index finger and nose, he think it was the proof he is Hooper. I kept on standing there. He made a gesture. He now raised his neck because he can't stand there all the time, and he now told me to cross the road by using his finger. His index finger worked very fast. So can you believe that? A man walking where I am walking and the other man is showing me to other men is not a good idea, is it? I don't think Indians should like it. I don't think my army father would have liked it, And I don't think my English bosses would have liked it. But who is going to stop Mr. Hooper? He's not scared of anybody. And he wanted me to cross the road, and I thought he might crush me down. But he could have crushed me down even on the pavement, This is Mr. Hooper, If I'm reporting on Mr. Hooper, he could have done that. I pulled back, I touched the wall. I realized I'm not going to do it. And he crossed, he passed, and turned toward Wembley Market. I crossed the road, and I reached the bus stop 182, and I saw him. While I was doing it, I saw Mr. Hooper drop the man. And I kept an eye on him. The man walked back to the bus stop to to bother me. And he come and say, is this 92 bus? I said, can't you read? Okay. Okay, he said, and he got on the bus, And that was that episode. Then, few weeks later, he did the same on the other end of the journey, near my workplace. We will talk about it later. All these 4 days I've known my husband. On 6th and 7th, on 8th and 9th, Dr. Cohen changed statement every day. He won't feed my husband, and one day he ordered to a black man, remove his oxygen. He doesn't need oxygen. Can you believe that? I don't think Dr. Cohen is a man with a sound mind, He was showing off to remove my... And black man came to remove the oxygen, and then he said, oh no, it's something to do with 80, reading if it should be removed or not. I think he didn't remove it. And even if we had removed it, we are Indian. We are not doctors. We don't know the reading. We don't know your medical apparatus. I only know the story. I only know what I've seen or heard with my eyes. Dr. Cohen makes a statement, contradicts statement, is a fraudulent person, And at the end of the day, my husband is killed. Radiation killed my husband because radiation was a killer of brain. And now I'm going to do a summary in a 1 minute. So, because my film is running out, it's done 3 hours. I'm going to make a summary. My husband was injured on 16th at 10 a.m. From 10 a.m. to midnight, 12 hours are gone without drugs. So he should not have been given any surgery unless he was fed antibiotic at the same time while surgery was done, or even that is best one, considering his antibiotic. Antibiotic should have given beforehand by intravenous while the surgery done at the same time, so that there is no chance of picking up infection of sepsis. But he was in the house and he lost all those hours. Then he was taken to hospital by midnight, but he was not admitted until 5 hours later. He lost those 5 hours. Then he was not given proper medicine for another 3 hours. So he lost about 5-6 hours in the hospital. So 6 hour loss, septicemia killed in 48 hours. So you can see how many hours he had lost. My husband lost 12 hours in the house, 5-6 hours in the hospital. So 19 hours gone. So therefore, Mr. Dudley was given antibiotic and fluids by intravenous, but not for too long. And then he was given seizure also. So between 17th and 25th, Mr. Dudley was given septicemia and treatment for septicemia, but 19 hours too late. Then he was given a fungal also on the sexual organ by using some radiation. That kind of fungal doesn't take place just like that. Okay, it can't take place on 27th or whatever. Maybe. Then paralysis via the brain, seizure and paralyzed leg. These things happened between 25 and 17. Then come this Mr. Dedi about fungal. According to him, the fungal is on 27 whatever. So why the fungal was there? Maybe the legs are paralyzed. Mr. Dudley is not moving, and somebody is not placing pillows in between to stop the legs from touching each other. Skin to skin collection is not a good idea when paralyzed is there. If the legs are paralyzed, the leg, you can't move the leg, and it's called as cloning. You know cloning? As a botanist, I will tell you, the branch of the tree come down and touch the soil. The roots come up because it's touching. It's called as cloning in the nature. The same cloning can take place between the human race. You touch your own leg to the other leg without moving for days and hours. All those hormones and all those what is called the perspiration, this and that can create fungal. Okay, so the origin of fungal is due to gross negligence of the hospital, and since all the skin was coming out, testicle, sex organ are very very sensitive, and you people are very cruel, very treacherous. Yeah, whoever done the crime is shit. Whoever is covering is another shit. So you should know that sex organs are a private thing. People shouldn't do crime on people's sexual organ. Very cruel race. We used to think only Muslim are cruel. Huh? But what they did with the Saddam Hussein when he was killed, and what they did with the, some new laws to be brought, some Geneva Convention and again thing of the sort. So that's what happened. So my husband was given fungal by the doctor and the doctor. Then my husband was discharged. Now where Mr. Dedi talk about discharge. He was okay enough to be discharged. You can't discharge a sick person. The national health, but such you have to discharge when the person is fit to work. And they discharged. Mr. Dudley was discharged on 30th, but he was unfit. He was not able to pass water, urine. It means he was suffering from septicemia. Then come 31st. GP said send him back. They will help him. So I sent him back again. They discharged him again at same day, midnight, New Year Eve. Mr. Dedi is now going to tell you what hospital did to my husband on 31st. But I'm going to tell you. Doctors in National Hospital, they killed my husband with bronchopneumonia. They have taken out bronchopneumonia phlegm from David Cameron or Jerry Blair or a black man and pumped into my husband's lungs so that my husband dies. And they dumped him. No border. Okay. From 31st, then come New Year 1, January 1, January 2, January 3, January 4. 4 days gone. My husband was kept with bronchopneumonia and original septicemia, and loss of 144 hours took place. 5 days mean 144 hours. Then my husband was, those who added bronchopneumonia, and they knew bronchopneumonia will take 3 days to incubate, 3 to 5 days. So if bronchopneumonia is added on 31st, on 4th will be mature enough or incubated, and it will show up on a blood test, which blood test was taken by a single-age nurse, and on 4th at lunchtime tested by evening, and I got a phone call that they are going to remove my husband because infection is high. Please did not help me. So they removed my husband. Now again, my husband was fit on all day long on 5th, but to me they said infection is very high and bronchopneumonia was there. So what they wrote on the 5th, all these reading taken is all total fraud. It's cooked up, because when he is suffering from bronchopneumonia, fever that never broke in this house for 4 days, he can't be fit in a room number 10 simply because my nurse was sitting there. Okay, right. So at 7 she left. Between 7 and 8, another seizure was given to my husband to stop my husband from talking to me, because I said to him, I'm coming and see him tomorrow. So I brought that to my husband. Whoever want to stop me from meeting my husband, killed my husband. And now I'm going to tell you this. Mr. Dudley was unable to talk, so unable to eat, unable to breathe. It's called as a MID. The brain is damaged with multiple infarct dementia. Multiple dementia mean brain is damaged at multiple points, and multiple damage to multiple places is only due to multiple seizures, strokes. Okay, so if a stroke took place, it can only damage certain part, yeah, and then another stroke, another part, another stroke, another. So multiple stroke given to my husband on fifth, between 7 and 8, so that he died. So now, Mr. Dudley, Mr. Dedi, I'm going to do a summary. I'm a school teacher the best. I'm a college lecturer the best. I can deliver lecture in Hyde Park also. I won't be tired. Only problem with me is I am a very impatient person. I don't write. I don't take notes. Whatever come in my brain, I tell, but it's always 100% correct. Okay. So the thing is that I'm going to make a summary. Mr. Dudley was normal fit. He had no such disease, no such heart problem that can kill him. Okay, and Mr. Dedi has not listed his my husband's illnesses properly. He missed out important illnesses. Something like he missed out stroke on 28th January due to the negligence of the European doctor in AE who won't give him aspirin to bring the high BP down. So first stroke was due to you people, doctors. Okay, so then he's not listed about second heart attack in India, and he had not listed the role of the doctors in pacemaker in Northwick Park. They left Indian pacemaker box and wiring and tried to murder my husband by making a septic box and wiring go septic, and it created a hole in my husband's chest. Where pacemaker was, it was oozing, so you can see that a hole in the skin. So that all sorts of crime is done on my husband. So diabetes is also inducible. Every crime is done by the English regime, and therefore you pick them up who did it, and a post-mortem is needed to find out phlegm in the my husband's lungs, if it's genetically related to my husband or genetically related to somebody else. Yeah, then we got to find out if pacemaker, my husband's pacemaker, is manipulated by Royal Brampton Hospital. They can pass seizure via the what you call via the pacemaker. Many things to be done, and the laser wound on my husband's thigh, you got to find out if it is something to do with the laser burn. Was always kept alive by laser, by this criminal gang who sent you laser, because he did the same to me, so I can tell you what is happening. The laser, the criminal target that point, and Mr. Dudley feel pain there. Okay, so that's what you got. We want tissues there, some part, and the other things I will tell you after I reread this tape of mine, which is not best. My own health is damaged by my fall in Marks and Spencer. My accent is not that good. I was never able to shut off my Indian accent. But if you have any problem to understand, so try to ask me if you have any problem to understand with my accent. So that is what. So Mr. Didi's report is not honest. He had purposely not written those points. Those cannot prove that murder took place. Murder took place with bronchopneumonia. If my husband did not die with the original septicemia, somebody made sure he died of bronchopneumonia. So therefore, they can put the blame on original lung shadow that they might have created themselves. We have been going to Dr. Graham and they were unable to find anything, So therefore, they added bronchopneumonia so that when my husband died, they can put all that on the previous held record in National Health. That was fraud, and link the death with bronchopneumonia. My husband was never going to die, but he's been murdered. So these people, they create a medical record, then use that record against and do research which was done by Hitler onto the Jews. And Jews I have been fighting for Jews all my life here because after my marriage I came in this house and I lived here, and Jews were the only people here. I never met any Indian. There was no soul of an Indian here, and our friends were Jews. They earned my mercy because what I saw, that dead body being pushed by bulldozer, and I said, why can't people be nice? You know, was there not a single German who could stop Hitler to do crime? Now I had a mercy on the Jews. Now there's a Jew come along and do crime on mass man. I'm not going to to take any trash from a Jew. We are trying to sympathize with the Jew for what Hitler did, and now a Jew come along and do what Hitler did to Jew. Hitler did crime on the Jews. Maybe this Cohen had many ancestors who were ill-treated, but he come along and do crime on mass man. I'm not going to tolerate it. I think that Jewish race is a very fine race. I still think that Jewish are very intellectual race and ideally suitable to us Indian. English race is not suitable to us. I am not meeting educated people who are English. I only met wrong type of people in my civil service. My husband always said, "You are too highly educated. Dump work." Uh, and uh, and he said, "Educated people are nice." He said, when I found educated people dealing, I found even more trust. Hmm. When uneducated people do crime, you can forgive them. You can tell them ignorant. When educated people do crime, they are trust. Dr. Steer is a trust. There are other trusts also, but I won't name them at the moment. So, goodbye, Mr. Dedi. You know that your medical report is trust. Stop hiding those who did crime and management. And now I am going to give you ultimatum. We all do crime. I don't know why we all do crime. You don't have to do crime. You are a doctor. You must not do any crime. If you change your opinion now because you are wrong, I proved even your first para is wrong. I'm going to on your first para here. Your first para, you are listing my husband's illnesses. You are wrong there. You are date-wise wrong there also. Because you don't want to consult me. You should consult me. He had a heart attack in 92. Then he had another heart attack in India in 93. A pacemaker was fitted in early January 94 because heart attack in India was near Christmas, near about Christmas, So January, in a pacemaker fitted in January 94. So you have written a pacemaker insertion in 94. That is truth, but that's in India. Okay, then you should write then you should write tuberculosis took place in 92 also, so in 92 he was suffering from two major diseases. One was heart attack, one TB, and you forgot TB and you forgot where adrenal or addition started, this hyper pituitary, whatever you're talking about, pituitary gland problem started. That started in 92. And TB was due to the negligence of Dr. Larson. He was my consultant. His duty was to order my husband to appear for test, but he didn't because he told me tuberculosis is a notifiable disease. He got to notify people. So if I am working with people, the workers have to be injected. So my husband GP only gave him a chest X-ray, and chest X-ray was clean. So my GP Hyman was a god figure, but grossly inefficient. because the TB test for X-ray, I mean chest X-ray doesn't carry any meaning, because TB is in the body, not in the chest, so in the lung. Therefore, if the TB was in the lungs, Mr. Dudley would have died, you know. It's called a past TB. The lungs got eaten by the TB. So TB was in my husband's glands, you know. Mine was my neck glands were equal to the size of a walnut, you know. My glands were affected, but luckily my pituitary was not affected, you know. My period used to go up and come back, go up, come back, you know. It can happen. It's a cult disease. So men are also like that. Go up, come back, go and come back, you know. TB keeps you down. It's a depressing disease, and it's a slow killer disease. Men can go off life, what he called a go off sex also, and they become sexually active also, you know. So these things happen in life. So go off sex or go off, come back off sex is not a queen problem or hooper problem or your mother's problem or your national problem. It's our problem. We are happy as we are. My period went off, come back, went off, come back. These are tricks of that tuberculosis. TB is a massive disease, and if we had suffered, that means our doctors were trash. Every GP, every consultant of my case was trash. I have cases on that. And to follow my case, these insurer of the doctor, they will even bring a bush to kill this woman. Don't give her any medical. But even if I'm dead, my compensation will go to my state. Okay, so my state will be my family member. That international basis. So killing me is not going to benefit you. So don't tell your presidents of people to kill me. I'm a I'm a nice person. My husband was nicer than me. He won't injure anybody. I'm the one who's a loud man. All this report is written is trash, and is trying to tell you, oh, my husband did not die of septicemia or bronchopneumonia, but he died due to all these illnesses. All these illnesses were, they're very bastard bitches, these illnesses, but they were treatable under control. We had no problem with heart. We had no problem with the pituitary, hydrocortisone you can eat all your life. And then sugar, half the population suffering from diabetes, it doesn't kill you. You got to manipulate your eating habits. And this Dr. Cox came and he ruined my husband's diabetes. We will look into it. And the history of the photo was already given to Bowman and to Andrew Walker, but they don't want to read it. But I still got it, So I can send you anytime. So all my husband did not die of these illnesses because these illnesses did not affect my husband was never paralyzed. My husband was never vascular dementia. My husband had no dementia problem. Forgetfulness was due to steroid. It originated from steroid. One day he was very, very intelligent. Other day he was very forgetful. So I have to learn whatever he was doing. I have to learn all those things to take over from my husband. So my husband is murdered. The main reason to murder my husband was via the brain. To murder my husband via the brain, they have to bring my husband into the hospital, to far away from me, so that I am unable to give him a kiss of life. Okay, so therefore, to murder my husband in the hospital, you have to get my husband to the hospital. It's called as booby trap. It's like Queen says to people, I want to kill this lady, but bring her to my palace, then only I can kill her. People will say, how can we bring her? So we can only tell, Queen is celebrating her birthday and she want to invite you. Me? I said, why? my VIP, why would she invite me? I become suspicious. I said, no, thank you, I'm not going to go. Huh? You never know why she's inviting me. So that kind of thing. My husband was taken to the hospital under false pretenses. Huh? When the surgery was done under false pretenses. Diabetic man surgery in the hospital. Why diabetic man was kept with the septic wound? Question. Why septic wound stayed septic wound from October November? Why diabetic man was not given antibiotic by intravenous method? By Cox. Why she took 2 months and allowed pus to take place, and then use same diabetes enema and get him in the hospital, and once he is there, kill him with septicemia. Once he is admitted in the hospital, kill him with the seizure and cause paralysis and give fungal on the sexual organ, and if he is discharged on 30th, then discharge him by all means, bring him back on 30th first again, kill him, this time kill him again with bronchopneumonia. Foot septic foot and septicemia didn't kill him. Let's reach the lungs then. 1 meter away is the lungs. Let's reach the lungs, and bronchopneumonia this time, that will definitely kill him. Bronchopneumonia. But if it is not going to kill, but we still kill the brain. We will give a paralysis in the throat. He will stop eating, breathing, everything. No eating, no energy, no breathing, no oxygen to the heart, no oxygenated blood to the brain, and he will be dead. And if he did not die, we will hit him. So they hit him on 8. Somebody suffocated him. So if my husband didn't die of a seizure, somebody suffocated him to do the same damage to the brain. Then if he is still alive, they kill him more on 9th. And then Dr. Cohen said, on 10th, before he died, he had more seizure, more paralysis on his left arm. Not on right arm, left arm. So see how much crime you people did on poor little Indian man. He is not Jesus Christ, I think you people have done more crime on my husband than crime was done on Jesus Christ. I think you people are eviler than Hitler, who only gassed the Jew. Gassing is painless. You people did too much torture on my husband, and then put the blame on. He was going to die anyway. Somebody gave him pain, and this Dedi is wrong. Whatever he is covering up. How many mistakes I have found? Once a mistake in psychology people, once a liar is always a liar. I'm not saying he's a liar. I'm saying he's covering up. And then if he's a scared man, if he's scared of a criminal gang, he shouldn't be in the job. He should say, no, I'm too scared. I can't write medical report. Criminal gang will kill me. Criminal gang, do you know criminal gangs are? Criminal gangs are insurer of Dr. Cohen, insurer of Dr. Steer, insurer of National Health, insurer of Marks and Spencer, insurer of Dr. Corrupt Copper. These are called as insurer of Dr. Bernstein, insurer of Helen Clark. They are the people who are going to lose the money if we win cases. They got to pay, but they don't want to pay. Now follow what Rebecca Brooke and News of the World and Rupert Murdoch saga said. I was watching 1 or 2 scenes in a selective committee and throwing a pie on a poor little boy called Rupert Murdoch. He didn't do any crime. He did no crime. People wanted to throw pies on him because people want to have money out of him. By throwing anger at him. You bloody this, you bloody that, you did, and throw pie at him because they want to get paid. He never did it. If I am Rupert Murdoch, I will never pay a thing to anybody. I will, but He's a rich man. It doesn't matter if he carry on paying. He can give me 20 million pound. I'm his fan. I'm doing a lot of conversing for him, passing my judgment. He never did anything wrong. I lost my sub post office because paper boy did burglary. My head of office, Baconfield at the post office, said, you are negligent. You kept the key in the door. I said, key is meant to be in the door. It's a fire escape. The thief come from outside, not from inside. And if you people have given me small door, which is 1 foot too short, it's not touching the floor. Somebody is brilliant, somebody noted, somebody can get underneath. This fault. This is your fault. The headmaster, butcher, he wanted to save his neck because they're insured. 1,000 pounds is lost. And they want to claim from insurance company by putting the blame on me. I said, and so what happened is, uh, I said, get stuffed. You can dismiss me. I don't want your job. All of you are racist. My union man said, what was that outburst of temper? I said, keep it damn. They did the wrong thing. They want me. They did the wrong. They made the door too short. Paper boy was very clever. He thought I can go underneath. So he did a burglary there. So if a paper boy is more intelligent, why is that the headmaster and the security man not intelligent? So I am not breaking the law. You people, I am loving your children. And if your children steal, it's not my fault. So, and I'm not going to tell them I'm sorry that door key was left because I never broke any law. I work for factory inspector. I know all the laws. Factory